Sorry about that abrupt ending. Looks like this is a part 2 because filming it with my phone as usual. I got a phone call right in the middle. Hate when that happens. So the regular, you can see the longer surface with more bumps that I always preferred and I still love. But honestly, as much as I like that, after having this 21 for a week now, it is a different feel altogether, and I think I really like this 21. Really. One thing I love is, and I don't know if Chris Reeve will do it or not, I'm going to call him up soon and see if I can get my crosshairs pattern from this regular one put on here. My buddy called up and they were making a diamond plate for the 21. It looks like diamond plate steel, and no diamonds, just the textured steel. And he bought the extra plate, but it's like $185. I mean, that's half the cost of a knife for basically 1/3 of a knife. And he's getting that, and he's having the silver put onto his. He got number 40 of 50 on the initial run of both the small and the large, which are nice knives. And unfortunately, he bought the large and then sold it, and then realized he liked it enough that he wanted a small everyday type knife and bought the little one. And he would have had an awesome set there with both 40 of 50s, but unfortunately didn't have both in his possession at the same time at any point. Otherwise, he would have kept them, or hell, I would have bought one of them just to keep the two together. Obviously, it's not a Chris Reeve lanyard like I was going over. And I like the green with reflective tape. I had one of these ends on it, and I took it off. You see I did paracord on this one. This one didn't come with the lanyard thingy. That was a gift from a buddy. This one did. All the new stuff does. This is a special edition from Knife Art with this Insingo blade, which I affectionately refer to as an Insano, because this is insane. This is a slashing, stabbing weapon. If you needed it for that, even though it's small, it's an unbelievable tip on here. It would cut deep. Vicious. So Sebenzas I call Stabinas, so this is a Stabinas Insano. I like it. I recommend that if you guys are Sebenza lovers, collectors, or you're just looking for a good hard work knife that, even though you spent a lot of money on, is easily restored in all bead blast. You can send it back to Chris Reeve, and for a minimal amount of cash, he will re-bead blast it all and sharpen it and send it back to you looking like a new knife. So even if you go a little too far and feel like you've destroyed it, you can usually get it refurbished from him on the cheap and get your brand new looking knife back. So that's an addition that a lot of knife makers won't do. The Sebenza also comes with the new screws. You'll see they're very deep. This side has the polished heads, except for the screw for the clip. And this side has the shallow hex head. This has deep hex heads and the shallow one for the clip. And then the shallow side on this as well. So it makes it look a little more even. I really like the polished ones. A lot of guys reverse them to have all the Allen heads on one side and the smooth on the other. I like them the way I get them, like this. And I like the smooth to rub on the pocket. But these are really handy. When I took this one apart to put the other lanyard on and give it a little bit of that Chris Reeve fluorinated grease, I found that being able to put the Allen head in deeper on these was really quite nice, and it worked quite well. There's another advantage to this. Was one of the things that really made me want it was when I grabbed my buddies. Sebenzas aren't really great flippers. I mean, after they get broke in after some time, and depending on how well yours went together, you'll find one here and there that is. But these things fly. When I grabbed his, I couldn't believe how it opened. My regular has been well used and worked in, and is smooth as silk. And you see it didn't flip all the way. Pardon the dirty blade. It flips there. That one's a pretty good flipper for a Sebenza, and smooth as silk. This one, after I took it apart and put it back together, I lost a little bit of that smoothness. It's a little tight, and if I were to loosen the screws, put it back together, it probably would, but even still, being twice as tight in the pivot, this thing flies. No wrist, just the thumb. I think it has to do with where the mass of the blade is. This one is kind of up high. This one it's behind. So once it gets moving, it keeps moving. I think it has to be the blade, because both the ones I've seen have flipped like that, and usually a Sebenza doesn't. Unless it's something to do with the 21s that I'm not aware of. But if you look at the pivot holes, they're pretty much identical, and the locking place is pretty much identical. So I think it has to do with how the mass is behind it instead of up at the top. They flip well. It's a really, really nice knife. Like I said, if you're a Sebenza collector or you're interested in Sebenzas or you just want a really good work knife, you should really look into this one. I know a lot of guys like the Strider S&Gs, and I'm not going to knock them because I haven't owned one. And I was watching one of Orimoto's vids, and he has this Hinderer XM18, and that thing is ridiculous. I watched a video. I got to have one. I got to have one of the 3-inch. I can't take it. I started looking around. Everywhere I looked, they were sold. So that'd be another knife to look into. Although I haven't had one yet, you can tell by looking at it. It's an awesome, awesome knife. But it's also more expensive than this one. Knife Art's giving a good deal on these right now. $330. It's the only place you can get them. Shipped. I'm pretty sure. I can't remember if I paid $8 for shipping or $10 or not, because I went through PayPal. But they're $330. This old regular was $400 back in the day, and you're getting the same size knife for $70 less and a very useful blade. These are discontinued. I still love the regulars, don't get me wrong, but this blade is sick, and I can't wait for the small Tantos to come out. Those will be out in the fall. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the vid. I hope you liked the knife, and if you can, go get one. This thing is well worth it. You won't regret it. It's your standard Reeve hollow grind S30V blade, all titanium and all titanium hardware. I mean, it's light, it's thin, it's sturdy. The lock has absolutely no wiggle in any direction, just like every other Sebenza I own. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed it. Stay safe.